Hey, welcome to the Small Business Made Simple podcast, brought to you by socialmediaandmarketing.com.au. Being in business is never easy, but it can be simple, or at least simpler. Join me, your host Jen Donovan, every week where we focus on marketing, social media, and working towards simplifying your business. You with me? Let's do this.
If you're gonna dream it big, 'cause someone out there listening. Everyone's got a voice to give, and it's time I heard you whistling, 'cause there's no point at all, in dreaming small.
Well, hey there, my fabulous listener. Welcome to episode 249 of the Small Business Made Simple podcast. Thank you, as always, for lending me your ears today. I know there's lots of choices out there, and I really do appreciate you making my podcast one of the ones that you tuned into today. If you are enjoying this podcast, though, I would love you to connect with me by taking a screenshot and sharing it on your socials and tagging me, because it'd be super cool to get to know your business like you're getting to know my business by tuning in here today. If there's anything you need from today's episode, you can find everything in the show notes, and the show notes will be at socialmediaandmarketing.com.au/249. Did you get a chance, before we get into this week's episode, to tune into last week's episode? It was your obligatory mid-year check-in for 2023. Remember to slow down, to speed up, and make sure you know where you are heading for the back half of 2023. So to get your mid-year check-in, head back there if you didn't already get a chance to listen in. It's an episode that I think would be super good for you to tune into and have that mid-year check-in. It was, of course, episode 48 that you can find at socialmediaandmarketing.com.au/248. But before I get started, I wanted to give a shout out to this week's podcast sponsor, Kate Toon.
Hi, Kate Toon here, just jumping into Jen's podcast to tell you about my new book, Six Figures in School Hours: How to Run a Successful Business and Still Be a Good Parent. It's packed with practical and doable tips for parents to be more productive, make serious money, and not burn themselves to a frazzle in the process, with actionable advice and inspiring stories to help you create a successful business and never feel like the worst parent in the world ever again. Order today at sixfiguresinSchoolhours.com.
Now, my guest on the podcast today is one of my business besties. Her name is Nikki Kelly, and her business is called Wisdome. If creating courses, doing surveys, doing challenges, or mixing up your business model is something that excites you or something that makes you prick your ears, then listen in to my chat with Nikki. And if not, still listen in, because I've actually always been against doing courses in my business. I haven't been able to see a clear path for a course, but I think I can now. So, of course, business is always changing. So never discount what's next in business. So even if you haven't got courses or challenges or surveys or anything like that on your radar at the moment, this is still a really good chat to have a listen to, because Nikki's got so much wisdom. And in fact, talking about wisdom, goodness me, her platform is called Wisdome. That's the platform that Nikki has created that helps membership owners, course creators, and coaches to organize their content and get a handle on ongoing tech costs. So I will let Nikki, of course, tell you more about all that. And here's my chat with Nikki today. Nikki, I could not be more excited to have you on the podcast today. You are a blast, and I can't wait for my audience to hear from you. So welcome.
Thank you for having me, Jen. I'm very excited to be on here today.
We've got so much to chat about, but for my lovely listener who may not have come across Nikki or would like to know more, can you tell us a little bit about who you are and what you do?
I am a mum. Simple as that. I'm a mum of business. No, I am a mum. I'm an entrepreneur, and I'm a founder of a learning management and content management platform called Wisdome. And that evolution, if we go back maybe 15 years, began as someone who is very passionate about textiles and interiors, believe it or not. So I started off in textiles as a qualified buyer, importing products for a big wholesaler out there, and said, nah, I want to do this for myself. So I've always had the idea that I'll have my own business. And it just sort of evolved from having my own business, creating my own luxury linen and, doing that wholesale. Then that evolved
Yep.
into retail. And then that evolved into actually consulting, excitingly, internationally, on some
Mm.
awesome estates that I had to sign NDAs for. And
I didn't know I had such an important friend. Man.
not really. I was just one of the lags that just carried along everything. But no, it was actually quite cool doing that. It was an eye opener, and that actually because that had to stop because I fell pregnant with my second child in 2018, and doctor said, no, you're not allowed to travel. You are a mature aged mother.
Oh,
Don't
yes.
call it the other
Okay.
thing
Mhm,
because I
mhm.
told him. So yeah, I just said, no, okay, fine. I can't travel anymore. So I'll start a membership. And that membership orientated all around interiors and everything like that. And, when you're starting something new, you do a bit of research, you're trying to find out the best ways of doing things and affordably and, not so tech stress-y. So, yeah, I learned a few lessons along the way there creating my membership. And, we're all in networks and chatting to, other people out there trying to see what they do to learn their lessons.
Mhm.
And I discovered there are a lot of people out there that were just like, well, I ended up creating my own app actually for my membership and, talking to
Wow.
people. And they were all like, how did you do that? I want to do that too. And just a light bulb went off and went, yeah, there's too many people with the same problems that I had. And
Mhm.
I can't go creating apps for all of them. So maybe I just create a generic one that they can all brand themselves and a platform that they can utilize. So after about 6 to 8 months of doing heavy research, began the journey of creating Wisdom. So yeah, my background and who I am is basically a woman who has no idea. Just goes, yeah, let's give it a try. And yeah, look, nothing's too hard for me. Well, everything's hard, but
Yeah.
and maybe we'll call it naivety. I'm not sure, but I love what I do.
I think it's
When
called
I
entrepreneurship. I don't like the
yeah,
word entrepreneur, but in this case, entrepreneurship is that exactly that
just
we
create
do
something.
that
Yeah,
other people won't do because it's too hard.
yeah. So yeah, I'm one of those people where yeah, all right, I'll do it, sort of thing. And yeah,
I love
here
that
we
so
are.
much. Do you come from an entrepreneurial family? Like you said that you'd always thought you'd own your own business. Like, is that something your family does, or are your family sort of
Yeah.
not business owners?
Great grandparents, both sides of the family actually. Dad, so paternal, great grandfather owned a big um, uh, mechanical company over in Sri Lanka.
Mhm.
And yeah, and then on my mother's side, from Egypt, she owned a huge textiles company. So yeah, so from them to it's just sort of I think carried down somewhere along the way,
Filtered
and I caught
down.
the bug. So yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Mm.
It's funny that question. I heard that question a couple of years ago asked on a podcast, and I thought to myself, "Oh, I don't really come from an entrepreneurial family." But when I really thought about it, I thought,
You
"Yeah,
do.
actually, I really do." Like when you
Yeah.
start digging into, what your parents did, your grandparents did, your great grandparents, like,
Mm.
yeah, it's yeah. Anyway, it's a very interesting question that I like to ask
Yeah,
now.
it's a
So
very good question.
thank you for being so open and telling us. Now, you've mentioned wisdom a couple of times, and in your
Mm.
intro, you rattled off two sentences that maybe my listener went, huh? So your words, not sentences, you rattled off four words that you have a learning management and a content management system. It's just like, tell me more. Tell us what that is in lay people's terms.
So, um, I don't want to mention other brands, because I don't know if I should or not, but it's
It's up
basic
to you. I don't mind, but that's up to you.
okay, cool. Well, it's just like a system, like I guess Kajabi, Teachable, that sort of stuff. So it's a platform for like memberships, a platform for course creators or coaches. So what we've built, I tried to sort of answer every problem to a lot of people who share their content online. So our system has like a whole library of like you can create a library. So that's great for memberships and so forth. You can create your courses in there. You can create challenges in there. You can host events in there. So you have your links, you have all your downloadables, it's a calendar, all that system. And then there's also a social wall that you can create in just all different groups based on your membership levels. So yeah, it's an all-in-one sort of solution where if you're sharing your content and engaging with the community, you just literally go to that one place, and your members go to that one place. They all converse, talk, whatever, and they can grab your content in the same location rather than having to go through emails and try to find links to an event, or trying to find, hang on, where's that website where that information is, or whatever. It's all under the one spot. So, and everything's secure based on, your membership levels that you might create, like access levels, and you can schedule everything as well. So that's,
Okay.
learning management, obviously with courses and everything like that, and a content management because you've got, an ability to organize all your content in folders and stuff like that.
Yeah, okay. So who's the ideal client for that? Who are you targeting with Wisdom?
Oh, look, anyone who has a skill to share online. So a membership owner who might want to be building up a community and just, building up a community, or, course creators who have, people who have courses they want to share, but also engage with their students all under the one roof.
Mhm.
Coaches, same thing. They might have content to share, or even, a couple of challenges to create for their clients and events to invite them to and so forth. So yeah, anyone who really shares content online and is building a community.
Yeah, okay. That's
Mm,
really interesting. So, if someone's got a Facebook group, for instance, and they're
mm.
obviously Facebook groups at this point in time, at the time of the recording, are still free. I think in America you can charge to get into a
Oh,
Facebook
wow,
group.
really? Oh, God.
Yeah, but they've never rolled it out to Australia. But just a side note, how rich would I be if I
I know.
charged $1 for everybody who came in to buy from a bush
Exactly.
business? Like, I wouldn't be on my island, but I
No,
reckon I'd have a boat to get to the island. But, moving right along from that thing that won't ever happen.
it will one day.
But yeah. But it is, I guess, if you've started building a community and you're like, okay, how, like, maybe the algorithms playing havoc with you getting towards your community or getting out to your community, or whether you want to start monetizing that community by
Mm,
offering them special things, such as courses, such as, unique content or something like that, then I
mm.
guess that's one of the ways that you could use Wisdom.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. You just, you could have your people on Facebook and so forth, and you're basically, you're interested in actually capturing more information, exclusive information, or
Mhm.
direct information, niche information, whatever you want to call it. They could use Wisdom, for any reason in that sense, and also and continue communicating with their members or exclusive members in the platform.
Mhm. Yeah.
So yeah.
So one of the things I really wanted to explore, because it's a sentence I say often, any podcast listener or anyone who follows me on
Yeah.
social, I'm often saying, never underestimate what you know that others would like to know. And I think
Yeah.
anyone who's listening is kind of like, well, I don't have courses. It's like, I bet you've got a course inside you. Like, I bet
Yeah.
you know things that other people would like to know. And I think
Mm,
sometimes people overthink courses. So what
yeah.
have you seen, what out there as far as courses, or small, big, round, square? Can we have a bit of a chat about what a
Yeah.
course could look like?
Well, you could easily within Wisdom.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you basically, if you're a lot of companies, like what you learned from me, I evolved my company from one to another, and the same goes with anyone who content shares. So if they're sharing their knowledge online, they might want to start off with just sort of creating a library of information. So they have a folder or whatever, they create their library. And then it goes into sort of evolution of, let's just listen to our community, see what they want to learn. And to build into that, whole course idea and create maybe a little course and see how that goes and go into a bigger course. Our system allows, any level of course size, because you have the ability to create as many folders you like. So that's like modules. You have the main course, and then you can create modules and then lessons within those modules. Or you just have the course annual lessons if it's just a small course. So yeah, it's just a matter of thinking of, I don't know, I'm not the expert in course creation. We all know Sam Winch is the expert in
Yes.
course creation. But and she really helped us too when we were building our system, to really finesse a few things. And we're still evolving with our system. There's still a lot of functionalities coming in. So like you were mentioning before, sometimes some people might just be a membership and they're not delivering courses or anything like that. Our system has the ability where you can, and we're introducing that pretty soon, the ability to switch off certain features. So towards members. So you might be an admin, like you own the company and everything. You're putting all your information into the system, and you might just want to keep your library open, but switch off courses and leave events open. So your members, when they log into your account, they just see a library and they see events and they see the social wall, and they don't have to see courses. And when you're ready, you can still be creating your courses and everything. And when you're ready to launch your course, you can switch on courses module and everyone can see your courses from there. So you have that ability is coming in very soon. So that's something, if you're not ready to do courses yet, you don't have to use the courses module. And you don't have to use a challenges module. Some people prefer challenges rather than courses. So yeah, it's just with respect to, you know, how you would create courses on Wisdom, there's so many different ways,
Yeah.
ways. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So I guess leaving wisdom aside a little bit and talking a little bit about your journey, I think for I know this is my journey, and I'm sure it's the journey of a lot of small business owners. How do you, when you are building an empire, because you are building an empire, how do you decipher all the requests? So if I head back to my retail days, people are like, can you get this in? Can you get that in? Can you get this in? And sometimes you'd get things in and they would just gather dust and you'd end up discounting them
Yeah.
and putting them out because what people say they want, they probably really don't want. You know, shout
Yeah.
out to any retailer who's nodding their head right now.
Yeah.
But how do you get around that? Because you're building this iteration of a business or a platform that is going to evolve over time. But how do you
Yeah.
go through that process of what people really want and what people say they want?
We've got a roadmap site.
Yep.
So yeah, we, you know, like every platform sort of has a help site, but we've got a roadmap site. It's only available to users for obvious reasons, because roadmap sort of gives away with what we're going to be doing. But it also allows people, our users, to create a wish list in there.
Right.
So whenever they create things, you know, other users can see, and there's a favorite button they can select, and we can just sort of see how popular that particular feature option is. We introduce ideas and we invite our users to say, you know, hey, what do you think? Are you interested in doing this? So we base it on quantity and see how many people are really, you know, requesting this. And our system also, our platform also has like a feedback button. So they can just click on that and they can just send us a little thing saying, oh, you know what, I'm in, let's say, courses, and I'd love to see this. So, you know, and we get all of that information. We just, every fortnight, we meet, you know, twice a week when we're going through everything, but every fortnight we add to the agenda of going through and seeing what any responses we've received from our users and what they might want to have. And look, it's tech, so it's a little different to an actual tangible product, because I get you there. I've done that how many times?
Yeah.
But yeah, it's you know, when it comes to tech, you've got to invest some time and money into actually getting that built into the system. But sometimes it's, you know, it's worthwhile, and you've just got to try it, I guess, to see, you know, what the response is. And you can't please everybody. That's one
Can't
thing
please everybody all of the time. I think my mum taught me that. I still think that maybe I can, but I'm failing miserably. Um,
And that
I
was
was
the
just
problem when we were building this.
yeah,
We've put
yeah.
everything into it, and it's like, this thing's never going to get released if I keep trying to build everything in before we release. It's like, sorry guys.
Yeah, that's so true. So true. But, you know, with tech, it's like how long's a piece of string, and tech's changing all the time. I was listening to a podcast the other week. I think it was Bringing Back Retail, I'm pretty sure, Sal Knight's podcast. And they were talking about, they had a particular website, this guest had a website, and he would put false buttons up. So it might be a button to do something, but the button didn't do anything, but they were counting clicks in the background. How many people actually clicked that button to see what would
Really?
happen? And
Yeah.
that's how they were working out whether or not it was worth actually building whatever that button was supposed to do, because they were like, yeah, people want these things,
Wow.
but would they use them? So they'd actually just put a button up, and
It's
then
like a
how many
hidden little survey. That's really awesome.
yeah,
Probably
and how
annoyed
many
the hell
people
out of
would
the users.
that's what I thought. I was like, well, that might be a bit annoying, but it was how many times would someone then write to them and say that your button doesn't work? Why doesn't your
Yeah.
button work?
Yeah.
Because that was a really good way of working out whether people would actually use that particular part of the website. So I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah.
Pretty cool idea. A little bit frustrating as the end user, of course, but great
Yeah.
little background survey to do.
Well, it's interesting because we've actually got a static dashboard up on our platform, and we've
Okay.
got a sign, just basically saying this is coming soon. And we've also got an area with messages, and that area is coming soon because we want people to know that this is coming. Like
Yeah.
without it being all completely blank. And I know it's probably not common play when it comes to, presenting a platform, everything on it should work. But I think just in my mindset, it was just, I don't come from tech background. So
Yeah.
I'm going with what I believe I needed and what I heard other people needed in the industry. And for me, if I can see something's coming, I'm all for it because
Yeah.
it's basically that it has to come now. You put the
Yeah.
promise out there.
Yeah,
So
I actually think that we have to, and I can't believe I'm actually going to say this out loud, but I think we actually have to thank Apple in some
yeah,
ways for making us better at waiting for tech. Because
yeah.
we get our new phone, and our new phone's only new for like 2 weeks before there's an
Mm,
update. And
yeah.
then, a month later, there's another update. So we get used to the fact that tech's not forever, that it has to update, that it will change, that it's up to us. If we want it to work properly, we have to, make sure we keep it up to date. So I really think that they have conditioned us to know that tech is changing and tech
Yeah.
works the way it does. So thanks, Apple.
It's
Ugh.
made us more patient, isn't it? Thank God. It's like,
Just
look,
with that.
yeah. Oh,
Oh dear.
anyway.
Oh
But
yeah.
yeah,
Okay.
I don't know what makes us go into it. Like sometimes I just think as an entrepreneur, why am I like this? Why can't I just have a normal life of, go to a
Selling
job, come home,
Yeah,
my
selling
meal.
flowers on the side of the road, meeting beautiful people every day. When the flowers run out, you come home. That would
Exactly.
be nice.
Mm,
Although I'm sure if someone's listening, they sell flowers on the side of the road, they're like,
not
Jen,
that
it's not
easy.
like that at all. So
Got to get up at 3 o'clock in the morning, go to the flower market.
that's right. That's right. Oh dear, that's so funny. So, where to from here? Where to with Wisdom? What are I know you've got a roadmap and things like that, but you
Yeah.
are you still in beta mode at the moment?
Look, I think it's really funny because
Or
I
what
was
do you
actually
call beta mode?
I know. I was having this conversation with someone the other day. I'm like, how long is beta mode supposed to last for? Like,
Yeah.
and like you're constantly in beta, like you're constantly like trying new things and all the rest of it. So to be honest, we're out of beta mode. We went like the proper beta mode. We were in that phase late last year. So from August through to December, we had a number of people using our system, testing it, giving us feedback and all that sort of stuff. And we altered a fair few things from that. So that was great. But now, we're at a stage where we're just finalizing a few little bits and pieces as you do before we actually go to public and release it on the website. So from here, it's just preparing for that, making sure we're ticking our boxes and all that sort of stuff. And just going to market. But, like you were saying with Apple, like you update on your phone constantly sort of thing. We're deploying updates almost, I'd say, possibly twice a week now. There's just constant things that we're putting in there because we want, like for me, it's Nikki's impatient. I want this in there. Can we please get it done? And the team is freaking awesome. Like they are amazing to have that support. So Constant communication will help us to continually evolve our system with our
Yeah.
team. So yeah, as long as we're
Mm.
constantly doing that, and there's no end to this platform, I think, because it's just too many things. Like you said at the beginning, who wants what, and how do you know? I want to please everyone, but I know I can't.
Yeah.
Just it
Yeah.
depends when it stops pleasing everyone, really. So I
Oh,
giggle
that
in
will be never.
nervousness.
No, no. Look, if my listener is thinking, is this for me? Do I want to create a course in the future or want a membership or run challenges? What's the one piece of advice you could give them as far as, whether they're trying to work out whether a platform like Wisdom is for them?
Platform aside, just planning what they really want to see with, what their goal is. Some people have an end goal. I don't have an end goal. It's just a infinite business for me. It's just going to continue on. But some people, when they're thinking of creating a course or whatever, it's planning out what it is that you want to share and how you want to share it. For me, it's all about, depends on the topic, the niche that you're sharing. You might need videos, you might need just, text, or, depends how your users are going to learn from you and how they're going to really understand and absorb the information you're sharing. So that will relate to whatever platform you might want to use and how often they're going to be on your platform, things like that. So for Wisdom, our platform's been built for constant use, like everyday use, where members are in there constantly because of the social wall. It's a platform where it's not just housing content and you just send people there to find your information whenever you want, or a course where people are just doing maybe evergreen courses and they're just jumping on there and finishing off courses when they're ready to finish off. It's a platform that you use every day. It's we plan on having traffic coming through it quite often. So it depends on the kind of course or membership or how you're planning on building your business, that when you're sharing your content will depend on the platform you use.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's my answer
Beautiful.
anyway.
No, that's a very open and honest answer. Thank
Mm.
you. So I guess if you've piqued someone's interest, if my listeners thinking I need to find out more, where's the best place to both connect with Nikki and also to learn a little bit more about Wisdom?
Well, I'm on LinkedIn with, I think it's Nikki/Kelly. I think that's what it is on LinkedIn, but Nikki Kelly. We've got our website, which is Wisdome, so wisdome.com.au. And you can learn a fair bit about our platform there. We're on Facebook. We're on Instagram as well.
Yeah, beautiful. Okay, I will have all those links in the show notes. And I can't wait till Wisdom is the Canva of course creation. And I can say that the business owner is my friend.
Hello, like you came along. Like we've got a section where we're, launching and building up now called Wisdom on Wisdom. And that is all about, people coming in and sharing their wisdom on how to share your wisdom on Wisdom. And you were one of our amazing speakers at our first summit, which was last week. And that was bloody awesome. So,
Thank you. It was
have
a
wealth
great
of
summit.
information
You
behind
had so many amazing speakers. It
Oh,
was so good. So
blessed,
good.
absolutely blessed, I feel. So
Yeah.
I don't know
We
how
have,
the hell I met you all, but yeah, it's lucky.
we have a great network. Great network.
Yeah.
Beautiful. All right, Miss Nikki, thank you so much for coming on the podcast and chatting to us about courses and Wisdom. And I will have all the links in the show notes for my listener to get in contact.
Thank you for having me, Jen. It's been a fun and pleasure chatting to you today, my friend.
Thank you. Take care. I hope you enjoyed my chat with Nikki. She's a blast, but she's such a problem solver as well. That's what I love. I love lots of things about Nikki, but I do love the problem solver in her. I cannot wait to dive into Wisdom for my own courses and support Nikki in her journey. The links to Wisdom and Nikki's socials are, of course, in the show notes at socialmediaandmarketing.com.au/249. But just to let you know, Nikki is Nikki and Callie is actually spelled Cail. So if you're Googling her, you need to use that spelling. Nikki does hang out in my like-minded business owners Facebook group. So if you've got any questions, head over there, tag her. I'm sure she'll be more than willing to help and answer any queries that you might have. If you want to have a chat to me, whether or not a course is the right thing for your business, then make an appointment and come and have a discovery call with me. That link, of course, is in the show notes or it's on my website. But that's all for episode 249. If you love this episode and found it valuable, please take 30 seconds out of your day to leave me a rating and a review. One of my goals this year is to spread the word of my podcast and reach more people, and you can help me achieve that by simply taking 30 seconds out of your day and leaving me a review. Thank you so much in advance for that. I'll, of course, see you next week for the podcast. It'll be episode 250. Can you believe it? 250 episodes. That's like, I had to type it into ChatGPT. That's like 33 hours or 2,000 minutes that you can have me in your ears and listen to my dulcet tones. Of course, that includes guests as well. So it's not quite all me, but it's crazy, isn't it? Oh, anyway, thanks again for Kate Toon. Oh, thanks again for Kate Toon. Yes, thank goodness for Kate Toon. But thanks again to Kate Toon and her new book, Six Figures in School Hours, for sponsoring today's podcast episode. You can find out more about Kate and her book by going to allthewskatetoon.com or come to the show notes and get the link there. But in the meantime, let's hang out on social and get social on social. You'll find me on Instagram, Facebook, and of course, LinkedIn. But whatever you do, remember, my small business peeps, as my opening song says, there is no point in dreaming small.
No time like the present. Tell it like you feel it, say it proud, be true, and let us see you for the star that you are. No point in dreaming small.
I would like to acknowledge the traditional custodians of the land, the Yorta Yorta people, on which I record this podcast and conduct my business today, and pay my respects to their elders, past and present. I extend this respect to the Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people here with us today as well.